How many people are in this crowd? How many jelly beans are in this jar? How many bacteria are in this petri dish? One way to estimate these kinds of things is to measure off a small sample area, such as this square. Count the people in the square, and then see how many squares the crowd fills up. If we know what the area of the square is in real life, and we also know the area that the crowd takes up, we can extend this method to practically any size crowd. Here we count about 45 people in the sample square, and we see we have 6 squares in our picture. So, multiplying the crowd density estimate of 45 people per square times the 6 squares, we get an estimate of 270 people. The number of cells in a volume of liquid can be measured using a hemocytometer. This is a special type of microscope slide that has measured markings of known size. Each small square holds 2.5 times 10 to the negative 7th milliliters of a liquid sample. We can count the cells in 32 squares as indicated by 2 of the larger triple-ruled squares, each containing 16 smaller squares. Suppose we counted 62 cells in these 32 squares. Then we know that there are 62 cells per 32 of the 2.5 times 10 to the negative 7th milliliters of liquid, which amounts to 7.75 times 10 to the 6th cells per milliliter. If our original sample was 100 milliliters, we could then estimate that there are 7.75 times 10 to the 6th cells per milliliters times the 100 milliliters, which gives us 7.75 times 10 to the 8th total cells in the sample. We can extend this idea of estimating using a density value along with a calculation of total area or volume. For example, how many people can fit on a football field? Let's assume that we can fit 4 people comfortably in a square yard. We know that a football field is 120 yards long, including the end zones, and it is 53 1/3 yards wide. The area then is 120 yards times 53 1/3 yards, or 6,400 square yards. Then we simply multiply the density value in people per square yards times the area in square yards. So we estimate that we could fit 4 times 6,400, or 25,600 people onto the field. And what about those jelly beans? How many jelly beans do you think are in a cubic inch of space? And what is the volume of the cylindrical jar? If you know these two quantities, you can make a decent estimate of the total number of jelly beans.